Get a sponsorship ad gently teased into the earphones of 100,000 plus highly engaged listeners, both within this show and promoting our partnership across Acast's other hit podcast. The Noise Next Door will even get creative and make your ad for you. Contact us through this app or via producerpool.co.uk and we'll tell you more.
Today on Fantasy 5, it's Wales versus Sweden. For our Euro specials, the Noise Next Door will be creating European-themed five-a-side football teams against a stand-up comedy guest who will be representing their actual country. Both sides will be using characters from fiction, history and real life, as long as they hail from the appropriate nation. We'll also see what happens when these teams battle it out on the pitch. National pride is on the line. I'm Robin, and this is Sam, and we are today's pundits.
Hello!
Oh, you've gone for saying hello like that, have you, today?
Yeah, you know, people have catchphrases.
You want that one?
I've decided this is my new one. Hello! See, it's a 100% record. People love it. Today, Robin and I will be providing criticism and insight into the managers' lineups, and later we'll be in charge of the commentary for today's match highlights.
Today, we've got Matt Grant from The Noise Next Door. You know him and love him from previous episodes. But more importantly, we are joined by amazing special stand-up comedian guest, Jenny Collier. How are you doing, Jenny?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for... That's all right. Thanks for joining us on the show. So what is your team today, Jen?
My team is Wales. I am from Wales, the motherland. So I've got a Welsh team for you.
You're from actual Wales. Whereabouts in Wales are you from?
Snowdonia, the most mystical part.
That's like the Lord of the Rings bit right in the centre, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what they based it on. Yeah.
Exciting. Do you speak Welsh?
I do, to a point. I'm like Borat in Welsh. So my grammar isn't great. There's some vocabulary missing, but I can be vaguely understood.
Amazing. So Jen is going to be doing Wales, and Matt, tell us, what's your team?
I'm going to be Sweden. As you can tell from my accent, I ain't Swedish, but my girlfriend is, and so that's the closest link we have. Otherwise, it's just me doing an English team. But I have learnt already a Swedish phrase to warm you guys up with. Jag blev vinnaren, which means I'll be the winner.
Smack talk. Early smack talk in Swedish. Good. A quick spoiler warning, as ever, we're going to be focusing mainly on the footballing prowess of Wales and Sweden. There might be some spoilers coming, though, if our managers pick anybody from the world of fiction, so you've been warned. Also, do head to iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever it is you get your podcast, and follow and review Fantasy 5 with a lovely 5 stars. Now, without further ado, let's hear those Fantasy 5s. So, starting with our special guest, Jenny Collier, Wales, what is your team?
My team consists of... I've got 5 utter legends from Wales for you. The first one, don't know if you've heard of him, Iolo Williams. Done a good job of hiding his Welshness with his name. He is a naturalist who knows everything anyone could know about the wild fowl of Wales. And so he can bring the animals of the woodlands and mountains and rivers and lakes with him to help him get the ball in the goal.
I love it. That's a perfect, amazing. What you're doing is you're taking one person and therefore taking every animal that lives in Wales.
Yeah.
It's an incredibly strong start, Jenny, I think.
That's bold.
This is like he's got the powers effectively of like a Disney princess, like a Snow White, and could just summon woodland creatures to play for him. This is fantastic beans.
His name being Iolo is almost like that is like a bird song in itself. And he can also do all the bird songs.
All of them.
Every last Welsh one.
Oh my God, that's so good. What did you say his name was? I know you're saying the word, but my ears just aren't hearing it.
I love how your ears aren't hearing it. You've gone a bit Welsh. It's Iolo Williams.
Iolo?
So the first name is basically YOLO, you only live once. But it's not spelt like that. And his surname's Williams, famously Welsh name.
Yeah, that is super, super Welsh. And he's got 1,000 Welsh birds with him. Did you say that he's an expert of Welsh fowl?
Wild fowl.
Wild fowl. That's amazing. He's going to be the fowl master then. He's going to be doing all the fowls, but getting away with it because he's the expert.
Why didn't I think of that? Yes, that as well.
I think you didn't think of it because my idea is terrible and you're bringing just all the animals from Wales, which is definitely better.
It's a good point, actually. Can he only summon animals from Wales?
Yeah, because he speaks in Welsh usually, predominantly.
Welsh bird song. So what are like the biggest animals in the Welsh outback? I want to say outback, but that's not right.
Call it outback if
Valleys.
you like. Yeah. We got eagles sometimes.
Good. Okay.
Buzzards. Got buzzards coming out of our ear holes.
Dragons? I mean, can he summon
Dragons.
a dragon?
I nearly had the flag dragon as a member of the team, but then I thought no. But yeah, sure, why not? Fire breathing, the lot.
The rest of your team better be incredible for a dragon not to make it. For a dragon not to be on the team.
You wait.
So where our mate Yolo Williams, where are you going to play him? Whereabouts in the pitch are you thinking?
Now, I don't know the names of the positions, so I'm going to say somewhere from near the back in order to bring all the animals in like a big sweeping motion. So he doesn't need to be like right up the front, because that would just be a waste of all that animal horsepower, if you will. So somewhere at the back to make the most of all the animals.
Okie dokes. All right. So sort of like directing the action by sending 1,000 Welsh buzzards flying up the pitch. I love it. Great.
I guess if he's at the back, but we're not worried about the fouls, because he's so good at it.
Yeah,
he's so good at fouling that he gets away with it. Are we worried that maybe an extra skill? If he's amazing at bird calls, he can presumably whistle very well.
Oh yeah,
he can fool the opposite team into thinking that the ref's blown the whistle. He hasn't. Up goes a Chaffinch and bangs in a goal.
I'd love to see a Chaffinch head of football. I just think that Chaffinch is coming off as a loser there, to be honest. But I don't know. Who knows? A Welsh Chaffinch might be stronger of neck.
He could be on the wing.
Heyo!
Hey. Boom. There it is.
All right. So that's our guy, Yolo Williams. Who else have you got?
We've got Charlotte Church.
Of course. Yeah.
For two reasons. One, she can burst the opposition's eardrums with her singing. She's got a good pair of lungs on her. And also, she can drink them under the table. She's quite famously like great in that capacity, isn't she? So, yeah.
We the Noise Next Door did infamously have a night out with Charlotte Church, and we can prove that this is true.
This was definitely before my time. I would have remembered a night out with Charlotte Church. I'm devastated not to have been there for that.
Hashtag never forget. just a local bar in Wales.
Yep, she was propping it up.
Oh my God. Yeah. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that this small world moment would come to pass. Tell me everything.
She was very nice. She's very, very tipsy. But then what's lovely about that, when somebody's happy and tipsy, it's infectious.
Yeah.
So then everybody else gets into that state as well, and the night gets later and later. And then stories happen.
Did you notice any incredible footballing prowess while you were in the bar with Charlotte Church? Did she show any skills that you think would be useful for Jenny's team?
Yeah, I don't think, did she kick a pint at anyone? She was quite lovely, really. Just non-aggressive. Maybe should have challenged her.
It would have been incredible forethought for this drinking session 8 to 10 years ago if we'd have happened to have brought a ball with us.
Yeah, indeed. I think, casting our minds back, it was probably us who were more like interested in trying to score.
Oi.
Yeah. But she didn't let any in, so maybe
yeah. That's true. Maybe she's the goalkeeper.
Yeah, are you playing her in goal for that very reason?
For that very reason, I'm going to put her in goal. I love as well that I asked for some gossip, and you gave me quite a nice intro to her wiles, but the story ended with, and then stories happen, and then so very diplomatically,
so
you avoided saying anything litigious. That was good.
Yeah. Well, let's just say, I don't really remember. It was a very drunken evening.
Good. All right, so you got Charlotte Church in goal because of the ear bursts and the drinking. I love
not letting anyone in.
Absolutely, and Swedes famously do love a drink. So the Swedish team, they love like a schnapps, like a schnapps type liquor. So I can see, if Charlotte Church is just leaving shots across the pitch, she's going to be drinking them and being absolutely fine, and the Swedes are just going to be falling out of their pants, as if that's a thing that happens when you're drunk. But there we go.
The Swedes do wear famously loose pants, so it's possible.
Good phrasing there, Robin. Well done, me.
I like the synergy with Yolo Williams as well, because presumably she can sing in a high enough pitch to also communicate with the birds. Is this a thing?
Yeah, 100%. The two of them are like a duo from heaven. And they will summon all the wild fowl.
Wait, there's even more synergy that I've just thought of.
Go on.
Yeah.
So hang on. He's YOLO summoning the birds.
Yeah.
Charlotte can sing, and infamously, one of her best ever original songs, was Crazy Chick. A chick is a bird. It's all falling into place.
It works. It works too good.
Good. Very good. All right, so that's listen, you've got Charlotte Church in goal purely for the fact that nobody from the Noise Next Door managed to score in her presence. I seem it's fair enough. And Yolo Williams as a defender. So who else have you got on your team, Jenny?
I've got Anthony Hopkins.
Great
because
shout.
He's going to eat the opposition. Although I realise it's one of his characters that is.
You can have that. You can absolutely have that.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. You can, if you want, you can have Anthony Hopkins, but as all of his characters. So just any personality traits from any particular character you like, you can take that. Great. Okay, so for the cannibalism, that might be a cardable offence. Sam, what do you reckon about that? Is that going to end up in a red card?
Depends how much of him he eats. Of course. Luis Suarez.
Yeah.
Luis Suarez, famous for biting and did get banned for multiple matches. But then again, we've got YOLO who gets away with all the fouls. So maybe he's done some training for Anthony as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
And another bit of synergy with Charlotte. Charlotte's obviously leaving all these shots everywhere for people to drink, literally pickling the opposition. So he's just going to be eating pickled Swede, which sounds delicious.
Sounds delicious.
And where would you like Anthony to play? Has he got any particular, apart from the eating, has he got any particular tactics outside of that? Or is it purely, I'm going to eat you and that's
He's
it?
going to eat. He's just going to eat the people that he can that are on the team against him. I'm going to put him in the centre.
Okay.
If that's his position.
It is, yeah. Midfield.
Yeah.
I thought I was being ignorantly netball-y, but that's great. Yeah, he'll be centre.
Okay. All right then.
So, because he's been in a lot of films, has Hopkins. So if we're allowing the edible stuff, he's been in loads of other. He was Van Helsing in Dracula.
Oh, was he?
Like that brings quite a lot of power. To the centre of the park as well.
Yeah.
Also, that's like biting, but not swallowing, essentially. So maybe just a yellow card.
Yeah.
He was also wasn't he Odin as well in the?
He's
Marvel?
Odin.
Odin.
Huge.
So you've
And
actually
all these
got God.
powerful ones. And then he also was in, was it Remains of the Day that's extremely poignant and moving? Was it that or something else? But there was a film like that. And so if he doesn't kill or eat or bite them, he can just move them to tears and then they might be incapacitated.
That's good.
It's really hard to play when you're crying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you should try it.
Says Matt in his memory from primary school.
Crying for not being picked.
Oh.
Hey, you don't score when you're not picked. It was definitely a challenge.
All right then, midfield Anthony Hopkins. I think that's so far an incredible team. Who else have you got, Jenny?
You just wait. So confident. I hope I win. Okay, the next one is Bendigade Ferran, who is
Long pause. Long pause from the Noise Next Door. Yeah. Yeah. And who's
who
that?
you'll have heard of from the Mabinogion, which is I love that Sam's just left. Or was that you were googling them?
The Mabinogion.
The Mabinogion is a collection of Welsh myths and folk tales. They might be true. It happened a long time ago. But Bendigade Ferran is known as Brian the Blessed, or Brian Blessed, as the lawmen would have you call them. Bendigade Ferran is a giant, and he famously clambered across the Irish Sea from Wales to Ireland just by walking, and he turned his body into a bridge from Wales to Ireland for the Welsh people to cross over, just to walk on his back. So I would have him in any single position, and he would probably bring goals and good defence, at least, if nothing else, to the team.
Yeah, also he can literally carry the rest of the team, if need be. If the rest of the team aren't putting their weight, he can literally carry them all. All right, just one more time on that name there, Jenny.
Bendigade Ferran.
Bendigade Ferran.
Yeah. Yeah.
No is what she meant there. She's politely saying no, but okay.
So wait. So he was a giant. Did he build a bridge across the island, or he became a bridge?
He made himself a bridge out of himself.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So just in terms of how big what's the gap between Wales and Ireland? How big is this bridge? I'm interested.
Oh, it's literally far. I don't know
It's huge.
I don't know the exact metrics, but I can definitely say it's longer than one boat. So.
Right, listen, I've just briefly Googled it, and newcivilengineer.com reckons that Grant Shapps, the Transport Secretary, reckons it's 80 kilometres. That's a long old way. That's a big back.
He's a big guy.
Yeah, big guy. I love the idea, Sam, that you just thought because Jenny's Welsh, she must know exactly how far it is from Ireland to Wales. Everyone knows that in Wales. That's the top thing they're taught at school.
Well, I know exactly how far it is from England to Wales.
Yeah, how far?
So, 0 miles. Should know these things. So he's providing a lot of size, a lot of stability. Presumably, if you're a bridge that carries people, you have to be very stable, very solid, very strong. He's going to be very difficult to defend against.
Yeah, I'm proud of my choice.
Was it a Was it a bridge made of flesh, like of his flesh, or are we talking like he became bricks and mortar?
He didn't become bricks and mortar. He just he lay himself down and was like, will you walk up my back?
Have a wonder.
Yeah.
Also, why is Grant Shapps fucking around with a tunnel when he could just like get in touch with Bendigate and be like, hey, can you do this thing again? You've already done it once. Like, it's absolutely fine. You have a little lie down. We don't need it. That would solve all the Brexit problems. We wouldn't need a hard border in Northern Ireland. It would be absolutely fine. Bendigate is the Brexit problem. That's what I'm saying.
I love that you're on first 2-syllable terms with him.
Oh, I'm not trying the other word. Bendigate. Ben. Big Ben. Oh my God, is that where Big Ben comes from? It is. Don't Google it. All right then, Bendigate, my best bud Bendigate there. So we are just saying that he is going to play wherever he's needed. I suppose he's a giant, so we can just be like, I'll probably go over there now in one step.
Exactly. Yeah, he's all over the pitch.
Okay, all right then, good. And finally, you've got one final pick for your Fantasy 5. Who's it going to be?
So she's also going to work in synergy with a lot of the team because it's Sian Lloyd, who is a meteorologist, who is going to use the weather as well.
Yes.
So she'll know exactly like the little wind eddies and snow and hail. I'm not saying she can summon them.
She'll just know they're coming.
She knows they're coming.
If she can summon them, this is a powerful side, summoning all of nature, all of the animals, all of the weather.
I'm very sorry. Unfortunately, Jenny just said she's not saying that she can summon them. She's just going to make sure the team is adequately dressed for whatever might come their way.
Yeah, but you said it was almost like a wink. That's like me saying, "Oh, and then the stories happened." That's the same thing, isn't it? You infer that something happened that she can do.
All right. So Sian Lloyd, secret tactic. Summoning tornadoes. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So listen, you've not got a striker, so we're putting Sian Lloyd up front, are we?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any particular reason you think she'd be a good striker, or just is the only bit that hasn't got someone standing currently?
It's both of those reasons. There's no one there at the moment, so there she can go. But the other reason is that she knows exactly when the wind is going to be right to bend it around the group of people in the way, Swedes in the way.
That's really true.
So she's probably the set piece taker. She can control the free kicks and get that cut. Even if she's terrible at football, she might slice it wide, but then she can summon the wind to bend it back round. Love it.
Yeah, I think that's really good. I think that's good. My only concern really here is Anthony Hopkins. I think looking at the team now that we've seen it all, I just think that cannibalism is a bold choice. We'll see how it plays out in the game, but it's bold when you've got just a lovely bit of weather and some nice birds. And then you've got Anthony Hopkins chomping on everyone in the middle of the park. I'm worried about it, but we'll see how that goes.
Oh, you're worried about the team working well as a unit?
Yeah, because Anthony Hopkins is just going to be munching on things, and I just don't know that he's going to be pulling his weight elsewhere in the field. You know.
But he's got so many. He can utilize all of these other roles.
But Jenny did specify that her manager's instructions have been munch and munch. So I'm concerned. All right then, good. Well, that's great. Have you got, Jenny? Is there anyone else who you said that the dragon nearly made the team but didn't quite make it? Have you got anybody else who sort of nearly made the team but didn't quite make it, or are you just happy with this 5?
Pal, this took me ages because there were so many Welsh people. I nearly had a team made up of only Joneses. And then as it turned out, there's not a single Jones. But there were a lot of Joneses to pick from, e.g. Catherine Zeta, Gethin, Alex, Aled, all of them.
Not Tom.
Tom.
I was going to say Tom.
Oh,
yeah.
Jenny, once recently, I was in you like this as a Welsh person. I assume that you get royalties from Tom Jones's tracks. But the other day, I was in an Uber, and where Sam lives and where I live is 15 minutes, and the Uber driver played that song 4 times on repeat. Sex Bomb 4 times. That Tom Jones song 4 times on repeat, and then as I was getting out the Uber, wound it up for a 5th repeat. So massive. I just assume you get royalties. I assume. I don't know.
I can't wait to receive my check.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you nearly had your Joneses. Anybody else?
Yes. Ivor the Engine.
Who?
Like a train called Ivor the Engine that was Welsh.
Okay.
Cerys Matthews from Catatonia.
Catatonia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've got all of Stereophonics, all of the Manics.
it's good halftime entertainment.
Yeah.
There's some great. There's so many options for singing halftime entertainment.
Exact. Gorky Zygotic Monkeys. Super furry animals. Did I say that already? Anyway, right. There's also the Red Lady that was found in Wales. She might not be in the best shape to play because she's only a leg and a bit of pelvis. But her bones. But the bones are red. She's called the Red Lady, and the bones are red, so she wouldn't need a kit because she's already the colour of
The fans are going to like that, I reckon.
It's just a bit of archaeological facts.
Yeah. Well, you can have the train as your team mascot if you want.
Yeah,
I can just sort of be like choo-chooing up and down the sidelines just in case.
Yeah.
I like it.
I really like. Do you reckon it's probably doable to have a whole Welsh team of Joneses versus a whole Welsh team of Williamses? That's probably a feasible option.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to do a special episode.
All right then, Jenny, just one time, as quick as you can, shoot through the names of your Fantasy 5.
Charlotte Church, Iolo Williams, Anthony Hopkins, Bendigeidfran, and Sian Lloyd.
There we go. That is the Wales Fantasy 5. We're going to have a short break and then it's back with the Sweden Fantasy 5.
A podcast from producerpaul.co.uk.
Matt Grant, coming to you for Sweden. What is your Fantasy 5?
Oh, it's a good one. I'm very happy about this one. First of all, we're going to start a little bit of Swedish. Come on! Now, that sounds like English, but no. Kom, K-O-M, on, A-N, means bring it on. So weirdly, Swedish for bring it on is come on! Who knew? Okay, I'm going to start with my captain, who is also a defender. And I'm going to go for Eric the Viking. Now, there's a lot of Erics who are Vikings, turns out, back in the day. So this one specifically is Eric Bloodaxe. Why did I pick him? Obviously, because he's got a cool name. I looked into Eric Bloodaxe and I started to sort of think, well, first of all, why would he be captain? He's actually going to be very passionate about being captain. Apparently, he murdered all of his brothers, probably with an axe. So you know that he's very committed to the leadership position.
Yeah.
Really, really big fan of his own position there. He's also, he's not just a Viking, but he's a Viking. So he was a king of the Vikings, or a Viking king, as I believe they were referred to. So really, really strong on the leadership positions.
Yeah. I'm happy that you've gone for him based on the fact that he killed all his brothers. That just shows that, he's willing to fight for this place. He's so passionate about playing for Sweden that he will fight for this. He'll be committed to that. And I think that competition is healthy. Maybe not for anybody who loses it, but, for him.
Yeah, just a healthy bit of murder competition. Yeah. Now, his sort of claim to fame back in the day, we're talking 10th century sort of situation here, was he invaded what is now Norway and also a lot of Northumberland. So Northumberland, of course, as we know, a lot hillier than a football pitch. So he's already sort of tackled a very hilly area. Football pitch should be really no immediate threat whatsoever.
Okay, so your opinion of how good footballers are is based on how hilly a football pitch is. You think if they were playing on a hilly football pitch, they'd be rubbish at football?
Yeah, unless they have trained on a hilly football pitch.
Okay.
Footballers famously who train in really hilly places way better.
Like the altitude,
It's easier.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Yeah.
Totally makes sense. Now, his early career, he did become a pirate at age 12. So he was tackling krakens and whales from very early on in his career. So it's a good place to start from. It's a very sort of challenging training ground, of course, also being on the seven seas, because the ground itself is made of water. So once again, a lot easier for him now. Now I have him currently in a far back position, in the defensive position, because apparently far back is definitely where he likes these sorts of things. He was very prominent in the annals of Viking history, so I figure that's what he's used to, being back there. Also, defensively, he protected his kingdom very effectively. I mean, like, literally, no one ever got in until toward the end of his life when a witch blinded him.
Oh.
But my understanding is a lot of players do get injuries at some point, so... It's just one of those moments.
Yeah, fair enough.
Matt, I've got a worry.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And as the referee, I've got to step in and I've got to ask you this question. Are we sure he was Swedish?
Oh, my goodness. I have looked into this. Yes, because looking into any Swedish Vikings is a tricky thing, because back then, Sweden didn't exist, Norway didn't exist, Denmark didn't exist. So most Vikings, they come from Scandinavia, southern Scandinavia at the time. And when you look back to before these countries existed, it's a bit vaguey-waggy. So I was really umming and ahhing over this. And I thought, well, Eric Bloodaxe definitely has the best name, so I'll go for him, and no one's going to be really pernickety about it, are they, Sam? So.
Well, I guess just as the king of Norway, I just wanted to, make it clear.
He's the king of Northumberland as well. He wasn't born in both places.
Sure. Yeah, mate, our queen is German, so let's let it slide, eh?
I worry for the Viking king, if he's so hell-bent on power, what if he axes his teammates? It sounds a bit like my nephew, who's 4. He's learning to play football, and he tackles all his own teammates. It's like, so determined is he. So sounds a little bit like King Viking.
I do see what you're saying. Yeah, I was a bit worried if he's too foolhardy, is he going to be a team player? But actually, he was famously, and don't look this up, it doesn't exist, he was famously in a group called the Pillage People. So he's actually already been part of a group, so he does work well as a team. But yes, I was worried about that as well, Jenny. It was a concern.
I love that story about the fact that your nephew just tackles his own team. I love it. He wants that ball. He knows that he's the best player on the pitch. Stop taking it from him. The rest of them are all shit. Right.
That confidence will take him far.
Yeah. All right, so Eric, the king of the Vikings, Eric Bloodaxe?
Yeah.
Is that the official name?
Bloodaxe.
What's he having on the back of his
Eric
shirt?
Bloodaxe.
Is he having Bloodaxe on the back of his shirt?
Yeah.
One name, Bloodaxe.
Bloodaxe. Yeah, great.
Yeah,
Okay.
Eric's just too ridiculous a name, so you go for Bloodaxe. Now, in midfield, I'm going to have IKEA. Yeah, I'm going to have an IKEA in the midfield. Actually, a pretty strong choice. I was already looking into it. That first of all, he can help the team really assemble some really impressive set pieces, and actually will often have some spare set pieces left over. But there's other things. Obviously follows instructions very well, which is important. Actually, a very good faker. A lot of times in football, fake the ball here, fake the ball there. IKEA, fantastic faker, will literally make you think you're in a living room until you realise, wait a minute, there's a wall missing. So
Matt,
big into that.
I have a huge concern about IKEA as a player. If there is let's say Charlotte Church is making a bursting run towards your goal, and she comes up against IKEA in the middle of the park, and she needs to get past IKEA, she's not going to have to. She's just going to follow the arrows and go straight through the middle, incredibly efficiently.
Efficiently, yes, but going to get distracted by scented candles, by decorative poofs.
Yeah, Charlotte Church is coming out with like 90 ramekins she didn't need, didn't she? Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
it's true. That is true. That.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she'll have a big durable blue bag on her shoulder, just absolutely crammed with things she didn't need.
Full of booze, if we know Charlotte.
Ultimately slow her down.
If we know our old mate Charlotte, it's just going to be full of booze. Full of booze.
Oh, close personal friend Charlotte. Obviously, there's another tactic. I was thinking about this. Yes, if the opposition, if the baddies come anywhere close, here's my tactic. Okay, we're gonna dribble the ball into the massive car park at IKEA, leaving the baddies to take ages to find it again. I mean, you could be lost in there for ages trying to find that ball. So we're going to have that. And also, the IKEA, of course, themselves is great with balls, especially ones that come with mashed potatoes and lingonberry jam.
Are you picking a specific IKEA? What are we talking? Croydon? Southampton?
I think Croydon, because that one's close to my heart. I mean, as Swedish as the rest of them, I'd imagine.
Do we... I've got a worry for you though, Matt. Where are we playing it? Is it home and away? Is this Welsh home game?
It is a Welsh home game, yeah.
Oh no, that's problematic. I guess we could move the store for one game, but getting around is going to be very difficult.
It's going to have a big transport budget, the Swedish team, for sure.
Yeah. Well, because I'm still upset. Do you remember when I did Cops and Robbers team and I wasn't allowed a Cops? Because it was an away game, and you couldn't move the cops.
Well, lucky for me, or when I say lucky, I mean incredible tactics from me. IKEA, famously, when you get to the bit where you're picking up all your flat pack, there are loads of those trolleys to help you move all that stuff around. So many of those trolleys, in fact, that they're just going to go underneath the IKEA. So we're not even doing like a hypothetical, just imagine the IKEA can run around. No, I'm literally imagining it all goes on its trolleys, car park and everything, sliding around. A few wonky wheels, but we'll get to the right position.
That's logic. And I challenge any listener to prove that wouldn't work.
I'm so glad that I've got an 80-kilometre giant on my team.
Yeah, you need it, right?
Yeah, I really feel like, Charlotte Church could sing high enough to shatter all the windows and all the vases within that IKEA, yeah. But the giant is really going to be the only player that's got a chance here, I think.
It's true. Okay, so I'm moving further back now into goal, and I'm going to have ABBA. Have ABBA in goal. Benny, Bjorn, Agneta, and Annifrid. I definitely went more Swedish with the lady names. And yeah, so I'm going to have ABBA fully in goal. Obviously, a good width across the goal. Very well synchronized in their actions, even though, admittedly, if you ever look at any of their singing and dancing, not very complicated. A little two-step is about as far as they ever go. But, great width across the goal. The uniforms, of course, are perfect for the amount of flair they'd like to show.
Yeah. That was the right response from Jenny. Just
No, it was a pleasurable noise.
Obviously, ABBA famously some pretty great success in European competitions in the past. They won a Euro contest in 1974. So comfortable playing field for them. Now, in terms of some tactics and bits and bobs, they have a very firm understanding of what happens to the trophy at the end of the competition. As they often say, the winner takes it all. So I think that's important. How do you know it's a good player if they understand exactly what happens to the trophy?
Matt, you mentioned about ABBA's, about the outfits they're wearing, about just how incredible they are. I heard during the Eurovision Song Contest this year, my partner is just obsessed with the Eurovision Song Contest, and she was saying that the reason that they were like that is because for tax reasons in Sweden there are tax breaks for costumes but not for everyday clothes, and the only thing that can be considered a costume is if you couldn't realistically wear it for everyday use. So that's the reason that they had those costumes, was so that they could get taxed. They were tax deductible.
That's an amazing fact. That's good.
Oh, they're going to be some good kits then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good kit for the Swedish team.
Great kits. Although, like you say, the point of them is to be completely impractical. So maybe it's not. I'm glad I've got them in goal and they're not running around at least. I guess they just sort of stand there, a bit incapable of movement, and hopefully the ball will hit one of them.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good tactic. Obviously, if any of them are harshly tackled and die, then there is always the chance that one of them can be Bjorn again. Always helpful.
God's sake.
They're not going to be afraid of the baddies taking shots at them. They confidently actually ask the baddies to gimme the ball. Mm-hmm. So they're not afraid of that. And finally, they're great at distracting the baddies during penalties, because they distractingly will just flash their chiquititas.
Chiquititas. Good. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Going through all the ABBA songs, trying to come up with puns and stuff. Yeah, that's the best I've got. But yes, I'm going to have ABBA in goal.
Great.
Locking
okay.
that thing up.
all four of them. Yeah, I mean, it's a good tactic having four people in one position.
Yeah.
We've had it before when we had the whole of Queen in goal.
Yeah.
So there's precedent, and I like that.
That was a good one because they had the instruments, so like a whole drum kit blocking up ABBA. Not quite the. I want to say they're too talented to play instruments. I think that was what held them forward. Next up, okay, moving forward, I have a striker, and it is a Volvo. I was asking my Swedish girlfriend, hey, what's big in Sweden? What are they all famous for? And it's like, the Volvo. We're so proud of Volvos. Apparently, they're really into the Volvos. Volvos. That's ridiculous. Yes, they're really into the Volvos. Obviously, it's a very affordable and reliable striker. Quite poor acceleration, but quite a good top speed of 57 miles per hour on the pitch. So that's going to be really useful down the wing, on the attacks. They can offer some savage tackling by just driving into the baddie's shins.
Yeah.
Have a car drive into your knees and see if you can keep on playing. Possibly
Bendigade will be able to. Bendigade will be fine. Bendigade won't
even touch the top of his toenail, I don't reckon.
Bendigade's just going to lie down, allow you to drive over his back, and then charge you a toll. That's what he's going to do.
That's fair. That is fair. We'll have some coins in the glove box. Now, obviously, also knows how to receive a tackle. Volvo, in Latin, means I roll. So you know that when a Volvo gets tackled, it can really sell it. Does a full-on roly-poly, and it's like, oh my gosh, whenever a real footballer does a roly-poly, it must be a real serious tackle, and they definitely deserve a free kick for their team. So Volvo's going to be roly-polying everywhere.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Now, a very safe player to have on the pitch, particularly with their revolutionary three-point seat belt technology. So that's important. I'm going for aggressive attacking, but also safe within.
Yeah.
Safe within.
Yeah. Okay. Unlike Anthony Hopkins, who's just going to be eating, which is not safe for anybody.
No.
But actually, I tell you what, not a great deal for Anthony Hopkins to eat here. You've got an IKEA and a Volvo. That's interesting. That is interesting.
Yeah.
But the
He's
whole
just going to have to make do with meat.
Yeah.
The whole. Yeah, that's true. Or he might have to make do with just meatballs and car sweets.
What a meal. And then finally, they actually do have quite a lot of stamina, the Volvo. One American man was recorded to have clocked up 3 million miles on his Volvo, which he bought in 1966.
3 million miles?
Incredible stamina. Yeah. Presumably, he replaced the engine and the wheels about, half a dozen times if it was the same car by the end. But yeah, that was...
Sure.
I think a record-breaking amount of distance on them. So that's my striker, a car. Which finally brings me to my last position. I'm back onto another defender because I'd run out of all the names of positions I knew. It's tricky, isn't it, Jenny? It's tricky. I can't do it. You actually said something I didn't know. Centre, who knew? So I'm going to... there's actually quite a lot of famous Swedish actors out there who appear in movies, and so I went for Peter Stormare. Now, you might who's Peter Stormare? You've definitely seen him. He's almost always a kind of Russian criminal in almost all films. But he does a few other bits. So he's the Russian astronaut in Armageddon. So obviously great at stopping large threatening balls coming at high speed. He plays a nihilist in The Big Lebowski, so that means he doesn't really care about threats or defeat, or in fact anything, because that's what a nihilist is. He's in Jurassic Park Lost World, and he takes ages to be eaten by loads of tiny little dinosaurs. So, lots of little attacks coming at him for ages. It will take a lot to bring him down. Ultimately, though, he gets brought down and eaten and dies. But, it takes a lot of screen time. He's a sleazy crime boss in Bad Boys 2, so he's not afraid to break some rules. He's a sleazy crime boss in John Wick 2, so he's not afraid to break some rules. He's a sleazy crime boss in 22 Jump Street. He's not afraid to break some rules. Yeah, he's typecast. He's a man we would refer to as typecast.
I just Googled him, and the first thing I recognise him from is being a sleazy crime boss in Prison Break. So
there you go. Yeah. Although I did try to find some range in his acting. He's in a film called Swedish Dicks. So hopefully with that he can penetrate the opposition. I don't know.
He looks like the pimp that gave me his business card in a speed awareness workshop. It's uncanny.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, bless
There's a
him.
lot to unpack in that.
Yeah, there is. This is so much better than the Charlotte Church story that we had. What are you talking about? A pimp gave you a business card.
So what happened was I went to a speed awareness workshop, and at that speed awareness workshop, a pimp gave me his business card, and he looked just like Peter Stormare.
What did the business card say? Did it say?
It was really ambiguous, and it was kind of to do with models and, yeah, don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's a little bit flattering. Maybe. I assume I've never, to be fair, pimp's never given me a business card, but you must be a little bit like, well, you've got to be of certain caliber. He's not got loads of business cards. He's going to be more selective. So.
I guess you've predominantly got to look pretty, but also slightly poor.
And you've got to not be afraid of breaking the rules.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a place to recruit.
Literally there, hunting out minor criminals. That's what it was going.
Owns your own vehicle. Also very, that's a guarantee.
It's actually a genius, a business tactic from him. That's
are we just assuming that this pimp was actually Peter Stormare, and that so it's just another string to his bow?
Another sleazy crime boss. Yeah, all right.
I look into his. Maybe he's played a pimp in one of his films. But yeah, that's my fantasy 5. I've got a few people on the backstage helping out. Obviously, at half time, we can all listen to some Ragnarok music. That'd be nice. I'm going to have Alicia Vikander on the bench, who is going to be ready to tomb raid the opposition's secret drawer in order to uncover all of their secret tactics, which I understand is where football teams keep their tactics. I'm going to actually have a fermented herring on security, keeping the baddies away from our secret drawer of secret tactics, because they smell really bad.
They do.
Fermented herrings. There's the Susterming is the famous Swedish fermented herring. You have it in a tin that's often buried underground for 10 years. You have to open it outdoors because the smell is so bad. You are not allowed to bring it on an aeroplane because if the pressure makes it pop open, it will just ruin everyone's life in that aeroplane. We actually had some. Sam and I and Robin, you've had a bit, didn't you?
No, I was there. I'm funny.
Oh, you
about
were there,
fish.
but you didn't.
I really can say that the smell is so much worse than you're picturing. It's just all encompassing. Matt was at Matt's house a few years ago, and they were in the back garden, and I was sitting in the front room, which, for reference, is like 2 rooms and a hallway away from where they were, and it was utterly disgusting. The smell was just all invasive. I can smell it now. It's in the back of my throat.
Yeah, it was really bad. Sam and I actually once opened one on a beach to test it out. A lot of seagulls came around. A seagull ate a bit and stopped flying. So, and, seagulls eat anything like. Yeah.
Is it really underground for 10 years?
Oh yeah, they're traditionally they're kept in a can and buried for 10 years because that's how you keep things in a cold country most of the time. You have to bury stuff and pickle it.
But you don't have to leave it to rot. You don't. It doesn't. Why do they? Why? It's not nice. Nothing that smells like that can be. Why is that a delicacy? It's really nasty, smelly smells.
A great tactic to put off Anthony Hopkins, though. He's going to have a little nibble and be like, "Ugh."
Right, to keep him from using his main Hannibal Cannibal tactic is to just rub fermented herring all over our team.
But Yolo is so good with nature that he could maybe resuscitate the herring.
Oh, like unferment it.
Yeah, exactly.
Reanimate it.
Yeah.
This guy's so powerful.
Yeah, I really didn't realise.
He can summon all animals and resuscitate dead ones. It's
Fermented dead ones, yeah.
Yeah, fermented for 10 years, but nope, that thing's coming back to life. Yes.
It's pretty strong. So yeah, that is my Fantasy 5. I'll recap who I have. So in defence, I have Eric Bloodaxe and Peter Stormare. In midfield, I have an Ikea. In goal, I have ABBA. And as my striker, a Volvo.
That is the Swedish Fantasy 5. We've had them both. So now it's time for the pre-match thoughts and feelings. So we've heard both of the Fantasy 5s. Jenny, now you've heard Matt's Sweden team. How are you feeling?
I feel a little bit bilious about the herring, I have to say. But generally, I'm feeling good. I think the IKEA having to relocate to Wales for a match might kill a bit of time because they'll have to change all the signage to be bilingual. So that will hopefully hinder them. ABBA in goal is a little bit of a problem because obviously 4 people wide, but they are going to be a tasty treat for Anthony Hopkins / his character who likes to eat people. I don't think he's going to be able to get Peter Stormer to cry though. So I think we'll just have to rely on Bendigeidfran to like stamp on him or something.
Yeah.
And the roly-polying Volvo, I'm wondering if I could get Yolo to do a roll-up-polo and he can match him.
I mean, yeah, that's absolutely what's going to happen. Perfect. Matt, how about you? Now, you've heard Jenny's Wales team.
Oh, well, I was feeling confident, but I mean, Jenny's literally got a plan how to take out every one of my team.
Yeah, but one of those plans is a roll-up-polo.
But no, you've changed my confidence. I'm going to have to end on the Swedish phrase "Jag kan förlora," which means I may lose.
He may lose. It's famous last words. But now it is time for kickoff. Hello and welcome to Mount Snowdon, and today's fixture, it's Wales versus Sweden.
The Welsh team are all just limbering up here. Anthony Hopkins spending extra time on his jaw warm-up.
And the Sweden starting 5 are all currently slavering themselves in rotten herring. The smell is, well, it's quite something.
Some of Yolo Williams' seagulls are circling menacingly. Hopefully they wait until kickoff before they begin their feeding frenzy.
It appears as if only 3 of ABBA will be starting in goal.
Yes, that is, of course, because Agnetha is famously a recluse, and she will be watching from her home on the island of Eckerö. The whistle blows, and we're off.
No, wait, that was just Yolo Williams with a bird call, and it's confused the Swedish side as the ref blows the actual whistle.
The distraction allows Sian Lloyd to surge up the pitch with the ball. Will she pass it?
Forecast looks good.
Just like Jesus, Anthony Hopkins is on the end of the cross.
His character from the Two Popes, Cardinal Ratzinger, would love that.
And he's headed it home past 3 of ABBA. It's a goal.
That's the name of the game.
An early lead for Wales.
Volvo takes possession of the ball and darts left and right up the pitch. Sian Lloyd is hot on Volvo's heels. It's almost as if Sian knows every move that Volvo is about to make. In fact, she does, because Volvo is indicating before every turn.
Peter Stormer trying a pretty aggressive tactic now as he tries to murder Yolo Williams and dispose of his body in a wood chipper.
He wasn't successful, but at least he gave it a fair go. Anthony Hopkins is invoking the powers of Richard Nixon, who he famously played in the 1995 film Nixon, and is pardoning himself for cannibalism, which is odd because he hasn't actually committed any Oh no, he is now beginning to chomp on Charlotte Church's left leg.
Well, she can't feel it at all.
No, she's utterly smashed.
Sian Lloyd is distracting Armageddon's Peter Stormer with her meteorology knowledge now, as she vividly describes a big scary meteor which he now feels compelled to destroy.
That is not what meteorology is.
Oh, come on now, it's not exact science, is it?
It's exactly an exact science, yes. Eric Bloodaxe is verbalising a series of bleeps and bloops to his teammates there.
I believe that's Norse code.
Yes, and he's looking jealously at Bendigeidfran, wishing he could have had a bridge over the North Sea like the Welsh have theirs over the Irish Sea.
Would have made that Norway to Northumbria crossing just a little easier.
But we know Eric is great at crossing. He whips the ball in.
Volvo on the end of it.
But it's off the bonnet and into the hands of Charlotte Church.
Classic Volvo. Safe, reliable, but not going to help you score.
Little bit of a stalemate at the moment, the Welsh team struggling to get through Ikea, and the Swedes finding it tough to break down an 83-mile-long giant. Let's hope there's better entertainment in the second half.
Well, the half-time entertainment will be superb. And as the whistle blows, we look forward to Tom Jones, Catatonia, the Stereophonics, Manic Street Preachers, and the Super Furry Animals all performing.
Catherine Jenkins not invited.
But Ivor the Engine piping in from the Welsh bench.
We all know that he plays bass in the Grumbly District Choral Society now that his train whistle has been replaced with 3 pipes from an old fairground organ. And we're back underway here in Snowdonia. The ball is passed straight to Charlotte Church, who hoofs it up the field.
Voice of an angel, legs of an ox. A bit of an odd one here, as Volvo loses possession instead of passing to the Swedish retail furniture giant. He's having a go at the referee, indicating he wants Yolo Williams to be sent off for threatening behaviour.
Yeah, seems like Volvo has misunderstood. Yolo Williams was trying to get an eagle to cover where the pass was heading, and so shouted IKEA, which Volvo took as a threat to his paintwork.
Oh no, Volvo was trying to get past Brand the Blessed and crashed into one of the giant's toes.
He's totaled.
Brand the Blessed is now pushing the car off the pitch with his toe.
He's being towed off.
Alicia Vikander subs on.
Anthony Hopkins on the break, and oh no, he's being called offside.
Tom Jones is livid on the bench. He cannot believe it. Why, the linesman. IKEA clearly has some simple yet effective designs on the Welsh team here.
Oh no, IKEA has sent the ball straight to the opposition defence.
They must have a screw loose.
Sean Lloyd to Hopkins, back to Lloyd.
Eric Bloodaxe slides in to intercept. Could you see where he came from?
No way.
Eric boots it up the pitch. Oh, what a long boot. That long boot is going to invade the opposition's area.
Peter Stormare is there to receive it. A wonderful turn and dribbles it with great skill. What a great performance from him.
I feel like I've definitely seen several of his performances like that, but just can't quite remember where from.
Exactly. Oh, but Williams slides in with a tackle.
Stormare there with a small roll. A very good roll, but not a major enough roll for me to remember it. Nearing the end of the match now, and Yolo Williams has been strangely quiet.
But it looks like he's summoning the entirety of the natural wildlife of Wales to see off the Swedish threat.
There's a strange rumbling around the stadium.
That could be thunder and lightning that Sean Lloyd is raining down upon the stadium.
Or is it the thousands of Welsh mountain sheep, red squirrels, lesser horseshoe bats, Manx shearwaters, red kites, porpoises, puffins and grey seals that are defending onto the field?
Oh, they are demolishing IKEA.
ABBA have fled in terror. It's likely reminding them of Waterloo.
An osprey pecks out what remains of Eric's Bloodaxe's eyes.
The Swedes are decimated.
A small gust of wind from Sean Lloyd blows the ball towards the goal, and a European Pine Martin pushes it over the line. Adorable.
2-0 to Wales, and there it is. That's full time.
Back to the studio. What a game. Wales versus Sweden, an instant classic. Jenny, you won. The guest manager, you won. How are you feeling?
I feel incredible. I am so pleased, so proud of all my team, so proud of all my actual human team as well, to be fighting some inanimate objects, some machines. So I'm going to go and celebrate with some seaweed lava bread, cheese on toast, maybe some spicy meatballs to honour the losers. And yeah, just really pleased. They put up a good fight, but at the end of the day, we were the best.
as you would expect from a Welsh team, yeah. And Matt, Sweden, a crushing, devastating, and horrifying loss.
Oh, vi sucker bola. That means we suck balls. It's actually the preferred way to eat Swedish meatballs. So.
Well, there we go. Two amazing managers there. What a game. What a game. That brings us to the end of this week's episode. Do let us know what you thought of today's teams or the result on our social media. We're at Noise Next Door on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, and we would love to hear you. Jenny Collier, where can people find you?
I'm on all the socials at Jen Collier.
At Jen Collier. Make sure you follow Jenny. She's gigging all back in the real world, so go and see her live whenever you can. A huge thank you, as ever, to our incredible producer Paul for making us all sound lovely. Please do follow Fantasy 5 on your preferred podcast provider and give us a 5-star review if that's something that you can do.
Next week we're carrying on with the Euro specials. It's Croatia with part Croat Alex Petrovic against Belgium, and watch as we tenuously link one of the Noise Next Door to being partly Belgian.
Can't wait. What a time. We'll see you guys next week, but until then, it is time for us to hit the showers.
Excuse me, are these the Welsh showers?
It is, boyo. Sorry about all the leaks.